Hello and welcome to this CAD-Link presentation in which I'm going to show you over some of the stunning new features and innovative changes we have made to our award-winning design and production software, SignLab. CAD-Link have been producing leading software products for the sign and graphic display industry for more than 20 years. Our latest release of SignLab represents a true reflection of our experience in these markets and the valuable feedback we have received from our loyal customer base worldwide. The large format digital printing market has exploded into the sign industry at an amazing rate. More and more sign companies now have a digital printer of some description, whether that be thermal, inkjet or UV. With the release of SignLab 7 came the Print and Cut Manager, SignLab's dedicated built-in RIP. This product enabled thousands of SignLab users to confidently take the leap from simple cut vinyl markets to producing full digital output without the steep learning curve and complex workflows that can often be associated with large format printing. Building on the success of the Print and Cut Manager, CAD-Link has developed a phenomenal successor to this product called VPM. VPM, or Visual Production Manager to give it its full title, encompasses the strengths of our previous products together with innovative new features that will enhance our users' experience and dramatically improve efficiency and productivity. So let's get started and take a look at a few of the new features of VPM. From the outset, the steps to set up your chosen devices are made simple with the Install Printer wizard. Here I can select the printer to be used from a list of manufacturers. Now from here I'm simply going to follow this device installation process, guided every step of the way by the wizard. I have the CAD-Link printer's DVD in my drive, and so the required drivers and printer packages can be installed from that location. Okay, I can now select the port to be used with my chosen device. And in this case, because it's TCP/IP, I'm also going to put the IP address in of my printer. And I can select an initial print mode. It's also possible to set up the media width as well as set any preferences for margins. Okay, clicking next will present me with some choices for how I would like nesting in VPM to be handled. Nesting is one of the exciting new features of this package, and I will be showing you over it in more detail shortly. So for now I'm just going to leave these settings as they are and click next. Finally, in this setup process I can choose how to handle my job scheduling. This is the first of many options that simply are a case of personal choice. For each of these three categories I'm going to leave them on hold. Now all the settings we have made can be adjusted at any time to suit your preferred workflow. This initial setup process is just a simple guide to get you up and running. We'll take a closer look at these features as we move through this presentation. So this is the main user interface of VPM. The list queue will display the details of each job that arrives in VPM, including the name, status, the device we're printing on, and all the other relevant details of the job. To the right of this we have the main preview area. As I select a job within the list queue, a visual image of the job is displayed here, enabling it to be easily identified. I can use these zoom tools to expand on any area of the image and use the side buttons to pan as well. The area below this is one of the elements that makes VPM so quick to use and access the tools I need. For example, if I want to crop the currently selected image, I simply need to hit this tab to access those tool sets. I don't have to go looking through menus at the top to find what I need. Finally, on the left here we have the archive queue. Jobs are placed here once they have been sent for production, and this enables us to then delete or archive the jobs, including any printer specific details like the print mode and media we used, for future use. It's possible to adjust the properties of these areas to suit your preference. For example, we can make the preview area much larger or smaller. Now during the setup wizard we had the opportunity to set our page properties. This is an area that will need changing as you use different media. With no jobs in the queue selected, a tab to enter the media properties is available here, so I can click on this at any time and then enter specific values and margins. Setting the correct media dimensions is essential to getting the most from VPM's automated nesting and tiling facilities, so we have made accessing these properties easy and direct. When I click on the Media tab, it actually opens the Queue Properties window. If I have just changed my media and updated the sizes, it's likely I also need a new print mode to match. I don't need to exit and find this section of VPM. While I'm here, I can simply click on the General tab and change to a mode to suit my new media type. As well as sending your jobs from SignLab, it's also possible to just drag and drop files directly into VPM. This is possible with a wide range of file formats. So let's say for instance a customer has emailed me this file for printing. I'm going to pick it up here and simply drag it onto VPM. A dialog window now appears detailing the properties of that file. In the same window, we can set a size for the image to be produced. Now the customer may have already told you the size they need it to be, or they may have already sized it for you. Either way, you can check those dimensions here and then adjust them if necessary before the job is placed in the queue for production. Now once the job is in the queue, it's still possible to resize the image, either by entering numerical values here in these boxes, or simply by dragging the corners of the image in the preview area. And we can do all of this without having to open the file in SignLab first. This workflow provides a simple and quick way to produce jobs where no image editing is needed. It's also possible to crop images directly within VPM. Again, another tool that makes it easy to make simple adjustments without even opening the file in SignLab first. Now let's take the image we dragged and dropped in the previous example. Another quick access tab down the bottom here is Crop. With the crop window open, I have the choice to enter a size and position, or take control by dragging a box over the area to keep. When I am happy, I simply click Create, and the edited image is returned to the queue ready for production. What about creating another copy? Simple, just click the Duplicate tab. If you want multiple copies, this is another option achieved by an intuitive visual interface. Here it's easy to set the number of copies and the space in between each one. VPM will never let you exceed your current media limitations, so only full copies will be produced. When I am done, I can simply click OK, and the VPM preview lets me see the copies that are now ready for production. Essentially, there are two main reasons that you may need to tile a job: if the image to be printed exceeds the current media width, or to make larger jobs easier to handle, to break them up into sections. This can sometimes make it far simpler when it comes to fitting. Now VPM enables a vast number of tiling options. For example, here in the Layout Manager, I can opt to automatically tile large jobs on import to VPM. And I can also set overlap properties. Now with most jobs to be tiled, an overlap of around 10mm or half an inch should work well, and I can set those preferences here. Okay, so I've now jumped back to SignLab, and here I have a job that is larger than my media. I'm going to send it to VPM. Back in VPM, we can see the job has arrived and it's been automatically tiled so that it will fit within my media limitations. So a very quick and efficient way to handle those larger jobs. Now of course the position of tile lines is often crucial to a professional finish, and so being able to edit the tiles is another neat feature. In addition to auto tiling, you can also tile any job by selecting it in the queue and clicking the Tile tab. So take a look at this image. I need to tile it, but I also want to make sure I don't have a join through this particular area of the image. So I'm going to select the rows and columns option and then divide this image up. I can now hit manual and then edit each tile. So you can see here how simple it is to move these lines to prevent any joins running through this part of my image. Adding specific overlaps or gaps is just as straightforward. When I am done, I simply click Create and the job can be produced. Nesting in VPM is another facility that will save you time and materials every day. What's more, the flexibility within the nesting setup ensures that this system will suit any size business. VPM can be set to automatically nest jobs as they arrive in the queue, or if you prefer, this task can be managed manually on a job-by-job basis. So first let's look at the manual setup. If we take a look at the queue, you can see I have 4 jobs awaiting output. They have all arrived as individual jobs and under my current settings would each be placed on a separate page. Now the queue operator could look at this and see that they can make much better use of the available space and save some time as well. All the jobs need producing on the same type of media and the print modes are all compatible, so why not nest them? To do this, it's simply a case of right-clicking on the job and selecting Auto Nest All Content. The jobs in my queue would then be repositioned in the most economical way available. This job could then be spooled and outputted as one job rather than 4, saving me time on production as well. Of course, you can set VPM to apply this function to all the jobs that are sent. This way, jobs that are compatible with one another would be placed together in a way that will enable you to get the most from your available media space. This function is turned on in the queue properties. Here you will find all of the options for nesting that enable you to set up this function in a way to suit your preferred workflow. So we've looked in brief at some of the great new features of this package, but the real advantages of this product is in its versatility and how it's adaptable to suit any size of business. VPM offers the facility to run more than one queue, and this unlocks a host of different ways that job output can be managed. So whether you run one device or 5, VPM will have a solution to manage your workflow. Let's take a look at an example of this flexibility. In a typical sign shop, you may regularly print on 3 or 4 different media types. In VPM, I can set up additional queues for the different medias I have. So in the Manage Queues window, I'm going to select Add. Now I'm going to add an additional queue for an existing printer. In this case, my VersaCam. So the port settings are going to be identical. Remember, I only have one VersaCam in my shop. I'm simply setting up multiple queues for one device. So the settings here will be the same as they were originally. Now in this first instance, I'm going to set up a queue to handle all of the jobs I want to print onto banner material. So I'm going to select a print mode suited to this type of media. I can now enter the media width and add any other details such as margins. Okay, and now on to the nesting setup. To get the most from productivity, I'm going to set this queue to auto nest so that each job that arrives in VPM will be positioned on the media in the most efficient way possible. It's also possible here to set a maximum page length for each nest. You may feel you don't want to handle jobs over a certain length, so you can set a limit here. Once this limit has been reached, a new page will automatically be started. Okay, so I'm going to leave the scheduling on hold. And I have now created a complete new queue dedicated to managing prints on my stock banner media. I can also name this queue accordingly, so let's call it Banner. To show you the effectiveness of this feature, I'm going to go ahead and create a couple of extra queues in the same way for the other media types I commonly use. Okay, so take a look at VPM now. I have 3 queues in place, one for banner material, one for backlit film, and the other for my regular calendar vinyl. All 3 have been set up to auto nest. So now let's jump to SignLab and look at a typical workflow. I have on screen a job that is ready for production, so with it selected, I'm going to send it to VPM. When I do this, I have a direct choice of 3 different queues that have been set up to handle the different media types. So if this were a banner job, I would simply add it to my banner queue. I can continue to work like this with the rest of the jobs that I have to complete on this day, adding them to the relevant queue. Now remember, my queue is on stop, so no production will begin until I am ready. Also remember, we set our queues to auto nest. So now let's take a look in VPM. Now let's say for instance I've been working away sending my jobs for production. As they've arrived here, VPM has nested them for me so I can get the most from the media I am using. So now I could load the banner material onto my printer and produce all of my banner jobs in one session. Once this is complete, I could then swap out my media for the backlit film and then send all of these jobs that require production on that type of media. By setting up production queues in this way, I will save media and time. I don't have to position my jobs in a way that allows me to get the best fit because VPM will do this for me. I also do not have to constantly change from one media type to the next to complete bits and pieces of jobs. In this situation, I could have sent any number of jobs to VPM, but when it comes to output, I would simply need to spool and send 3 individual jobs to print. This kind of setup will save you valuable time and money. The functionality of multiple queues can be adopted for many different setups. You may run more than one type of device, for example a Gerber Edge and a VersaCam. You could set up 1 production queue for each, or 3 production queues for each. It's really up to how you want to work. Each queue can have different properties assigned to it, so whether you are the only person in your business or one of 100 people in your business, it's possible to configure this unique program to suit your needs. Now print modes are such an important part of successful wide format printing. With so many different devices, medias and inks available, the sheer number of modes that we can choose from is mammoth. In VPM, the task of managing your print modes and finding the right one for the job is made simple and quick with our dedicated print mode manager. Let me give you an example. If I have a Roland VP540 as my selected device, let's say I want to print a full colour banner at draft quality. Where do I start? I have hundreds of modes to choose from here. In fact, this line of text here tells me exactly how many are available. See, it says 285. I need to efficiently narrow down this search until I find a mode that's right for the job. Now I'm going to be using the EcoSol Max inks, so I can select that ink set here. Next, I need to choose a media type. Well, as I said, I want to print a banner, so as you would expect, banner is selected here. Now take a look back to the amount of available modes. This has already been reduced to 32. So what about manufacturer? Well, again, I have a few choices here, so let's go for Metamark. Now my search is down to just 3 modes. Lastly, I'm going to select a quality, and as this is a banner that will be viewed long distance, 360 by 720 will work fine. So you can see that I went from a choice of over 200 modes to one that was perfect for the job by making 3 easy choices. The Print Mode Manager also enables you to search out modes using other criteria, such as the description. So for example, you may want to see what profiles are available for gloss white media. Simply type that description in the search bar and you can instantly see what's available. Another nice feature is the ability to flag modes as favourites. As you start to discover what profiles you like to use, simply click the Favourites tab next to them. Then at any time you can view all your favourite modes together just by clicking this tab at the top here. The new Print Mode Manager is so versatile, quick and easy to use, and it's certainly going to take the complication out of finding a profile to suit the job in hand. VPM is all about making life easy, helping you to increase productivity and profits. Like all our software products, we believe you'll find the user interface easy to understand and simple to follow. The features you use every day are right there at your fingertips, but in addition to this you will also find a host of advanced tools aimed at letting you achieve what you need to. So if you're the type of user who likes to make specific, bespoke adjustments to the common elements that accompany digital output, we have made accessing these simple as well. This means you're still able to control printer specific settings like head passes and drying times. It's also possible to enable the creation of custom print modes where any number of settings such as the saturation or max ink levels can be adjusted to suit. Innovative features have always been part of each new CAD-Link release. VPM is packed full of new tools and customizable settings that enable each user to maximize return by setting up a workflow that suits their business. Having the right tools for the job is only half the package. As a CAD-Link user, you'll have unlimited access to InfoSource, our dedicated online resource and training facility. As well as user forums and an extensive knowledge base, you'll be able to watch or download tutorials that explain how to get the most from the new features of SignLab 8 and VPM. What's more, this content is updated all the time. This latest release of our award-winning software is truly the right choice for the professional sign maker. For more information on upgrades, new packages, or making the switch from your existing sign making software, contact CAD-Link Technology Corporation today.